I just want to talk a minute about Google guidance and specifically helpful content, which we talked about in the last video. Okay, so again, to reiterate, Google is fine with AI content. It's fine with however content is produced, so long as it's helpful and demonstrates properties of EAT, which we can talk about in a separate video. But for this video, helpful content with AI. Now, I just want to show an example here. Because look, these AI tools are great. ChatGPT, here's another one, Koala, which we have a bonus on, but I want to show you a real life example. The tools are great, but they can, I don't know, present information in a way that is not necessarily helpful from the beginning, right? And it might not match the intent of the keyword. Again, this is not an SEO course, but when we're creating content to rank in Google, we always want to keep the user in mind and what they're trying to achieve with their search, with their keyword, right? And that plays into creating helpful content. So I want to give you an example here, right? Because this is an article that I used Koala to write. This is a one-click writer, and I published a version of this article on my site. But I didn't just take it as is. You can do that. Again, it depends on your goals in this course. You can do one click and just publish to WordPress, but here I'm talking about helpful content. So the keyword here is brisket internal temperature, right? That's my keyword. Now, when you put yourself in the shoes of the user, when you're trying to create helpful content, think about it. If someone is Googling the term brisket internal temperature, what do they want to know, right? This is not a trick question. They want to know how they should cook their brisket internal temperature, meaning what internal temperature should they hit. Now, when I look at this introduction from Koala, look how much fluff is in this output, right? So the answer kind of is right over here, right? But look at all the fluff and extra text and, frankly, unhelpful content that is in just the introductory paragraph. So, again, depending on your goals, but if you're trying to rank and you're trying to please Google, this is probably not something that I'm going to publish directly to my site because I don't think it's entirely helpful as is, because it's not hitting the intent. Now, what I want to show you is the published version that is now on my site, right? Brisket internal temperature guide. Now, look what I've done here, right? I've kind of pulled information out of the Koala article, and we're going to get to this in the course, but you can see how I'm taking AI content and making it helpful, right? This is what the user wants to know. Very first thing, the ideal brisket internal temperature is 203. Then I talk about the ideal range, right? 195 to 205. I talk about why briefly it is this range. And then I talk about briefly the best way to measure the temperature of your brisket, right? So this, at least to me, is much more helpful, right? So the AI is great at generating all of these ideas, generating all this text. But if you're trying to satisfy Google's helpful content, you have to put yourself in the shoes of the reader who's trying to get information as efficiently, as fast as possible from your content. So that's all I wanted to touch on in this video. It is possible to use AI to create helpful content. And that's exactly what I've done in this article. And this article goes on and on and on. And you can see I get to the point in the text itself, right? Here's the best internal temperature. Here's the range. Here's why. And then I go on and on and on, pulling content out of Koala, which we go through in the course with ChatGPT and Koala. But think about AI content that is helpful. How can you make the AI output more helpful? And if we can accomplish that, then we are falling within Google's guidelines.